So packaging wise, Zara just slammed winter and summer on the front of these original Red Temptation bottles and then packaged them in red boxes instead of white ones and called it a day. But although winter and summer are related to their cousin Red Temptation, these are actually far enough away from the original DNA for me to consider them completely different fragrances, really. Let's dig in, fellow fume heads. Hello, beautiful people. It's your scent gourmand Trina here, and welcome back to my channel. It's flanker time, and flankers of dupes. Zara's original Red Temptation, for any of you who don't know, is a dupe for Maison Francis Kirk de Jean's incredible top-rated fragrance Baccarat Rouge 540. Red Temptation Winter, have a whole bunch of bottles on my table here. Red Temptation Winter came out in 2022, I heard, but really didn't get to my Zara store in Japan until just last year, unless I've missed something. But the original and Red Temptation Elixir only came out last year, no? Or maybe it depends where you live. In any case, Red Temptation Winter is an EDP with sweet notes, which translates to me as thin powdered latex rubber gloves. You know, the white transparent ones filled with sticky marshmallow goo. There are woody, cedar, and patchouli tones in the background, and a warm, fruity, and slightly metallic almond paste feel acting as props in the background. It does bear semblance to Red Temptation in the air, but on skin, no. No. I don't care for this gooey, sweet note stuff, and speaking of notes, here they are. Now, of course, there is indeed a burning sugar vibe associated with Red Temptation, and of course, the fragrance that spawned all of the craziness, Baccarat Rouge 540 and the Extrait version. Some people have likened this winter version to the Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait, but I'm sorry, the burning sugar saffron candy thing is basically all they have in common to me, if that. Red Temptation Elixir, this one here, is more like Baccarat Rouge Extrait, in my opinion. This winter flanker is something else entirely. It's a party for the plastics in here. And I don't mean the Mean Girls variety. I mean the literal plastics. Latex, shower curtains, cling wrap, Ziploc bags, water bottles, and Tupperware containers, all warmed up enough to get them sweating out their plasticky aromas and at the same time heating up the cookies, candy, and other sugary delights they're housing. The smell is very synthetic and sweet, and I'm sure that many fans are like flies to the flame with this fragrance. It's interesting, but not as good as the original or the Elixir, in my opinion. And I've said this before, I'm not a fan of marshmallow in fragrance. There's supposedly no marshmallow in here, and I admit I'm not picking up any today, but I swear it was there the last two times I tried it. There's some citrus in here too, but it's neither sharp nor fresh, more of the orangey variety, I guess. Baked oranges with plastic sprinkles. Now later into the fragrance you get some sugar-coated toasted almonds, sort of blended up into a creamy paste along with some cedarwood chips and gobs full of ambrox or ambroxan or something similar to keep it light and airy despite the patchouli at the base. I guess it's not bad, but it's too much plastic for me, and I'm going to say pass on this one. Okay, next we have Red Temptation Summer, launched in 2023, which makes more sense. And this one's completely different, thankfully, and better. Here are the notes. Okay, so this one's very fruity and peony and rose dominant. I wouldn't say it's long lasting, however. Neither's the winter one. It's got some tarty, fruity yumminess, kind of niche-y like. Think of Armani's Pivoine Chouzeau, if I'm pronouncing that right, which has a lot of the same notes actually. Or how about Dior's Holy Peony? But I have Holy Peony, and no, That one is greener and without all the sugar that the Zara frag has. Sadly, I think the Zara might outperform the Dior, which is saying a lot because, you know, Dior costs a lot more than this, that's for sure. A lot of those beautiful Maison Dior fragrances are so not worth the money when judged solely on performance standards. Now, some people have likened the summer one to Bond No. 9's Greenwich Village, but I can't confirm that one. I haven't smelt it. But anyway, I don't think this fragrance is on the same quality level as some fancier brands, but the smell at least does try to take me there. This is an ambery floral blend, and I do tend to favor fragrances that are amber dominant, especially when you add praline to the mix. It's a little addictive, and the texture with that musk and again ambrox or something is pretty enticing. It's a little girly though, so in my case that kind of limits its use because I ain't no spring chicken and I have to be in the mood for chocolate raspberries. It's someone's everyday scent for sure, but not mine. More of a Saturday afternoon of the baseball game, but I don't enjoy watching baseball, to be honest. I'll go and gossip with mates who are also indifferently dragged along by their better halves, you know? Smelling sweet, lighthearted, and not at all serious. Now, Zara describes this one as sensual. No, the lychee or lychee in here makes it too sweet. So lychee, by the way, I think is Mandarin and lychee is Cantonese, if I'm not mistaken. If you know better, comment below. Anyway, there are two ways of pronouncing it apparently, so I no longer feel bad about potentially mispronouncing the word. This is a flirtatious, high-calorie wink, to be sure, but there's no silk or feathers or tenderness or licking or, you know, inappropriate but welcome touching with this fragrance. You know, so kind of a PG-13 frag. Okay, so you know my take on these now, and here's the thing. Both these fragrances are different enough from the original Red Temptation to not be considered flankers. Honestly, I don't get enough of this Red Temptation DNA in either of these for it to be obvious, which means that Zara was probably simply spinning off the success of Red Temptation in its marketing. Not deplorable, but not respectable either. I don't really get heavy Baccarat Rouge 540 vibes in these two fragrances, obviously. Perhaps like a smidge. Now that I think about it, the summer flanker reminds me of a little of Burberry Her, which is actually a fruity version of Baccarat Rouge 540, created by the one and only same Francis Kirdejean. Do these flankers suck then? Well, no, but I wouldn't recommend either of these, even if, unlike me, you like plasticky marshmallow smells. Both of these flankers have more typical Zara performance, meaning crapola. And neither of these are as good as the original Red Temptation or the Elixir, in my opinion. I thought it would be interesting to share the note profiles of the 4 Red Temptation fragrances I have reviewed so far on this channel so you can see the difference. Not that that will help you smell or imagine the smell necessarily, but I think it's interesting. Here you go. Now, believe it or not, there is another Red Temptation flanker coming out. Well, technically not a flanker. It's the love child or Frankenstein blend, depending on your view, of the 2 best fragrances Zara has made, in my opinion, which are Rose Gourmand and, yes, Red Temptation, or actually Elixir in my case. But anyway, I guess I might not be buying that one. It's called Love Explosion, by the way, and probably it will have been released by the time this video is out. As I speak, it's not yet available, at least in Japan. And you know, if it's just a limited edition straight up combo of Red Temptation and Rose Gourmand, I don't think you have to buy that. Just mix your 2 fragrances together. If you got Rose Gourmand, which I still have a smidge left and I want to reorder, just, you know, and I've got all these 4 bottles of Red Temptation now, I can create my own Love Explosion. I'm supposed to be on a no buy month anyway, and there are lots of other goodies to wear and share with you guys. Okay, my lovelies, それでは以上でございます。よろしくお願いします。 どうもありがとうございます。じゃあね。Scent Gourmand signing out. Bye nada. Mwah. Smell you later.